All right, so here we are. The current state as we had seen before. Sorry, I'm just moving. I think that's my table. Cat hair, actually, cat hair. So far we are at the state where we fire this up, we type into my thing, but nothing really happens. We do want it to, like as we can see in the model, we do want it to print the title, but the information itself is not really being sent, and we wonder why. Um, because in the app we make the three models, and then we go ahead and we go ahead. Oh wait, I think I can see why it's not working. Okay, try that. And actually, oh, the one thing I didn't do is actually um, initialize the. Okay, now yeah, initialize the app object with some stuff in it. So let's go ahead and try that. Let's say uh, nothing, eh? Okay. I wonder what is actually happening within the, like, I know what to exactly change around and stuff. That's gonna happen just in a moment, but I just wanted to see like what is going on. Because in this case, the view execute should technically, I wonder if this does any changes. Let's try that and view dot changes. So let's go ahead and type in ddd. Right. Because now in this, what's happening is that when I click the submit button, it is trying to pass on the it's trying to pass on the information from here into the controller's passing method, which right now is actually 0, like which is none. So what do we do for that? So the way I see, okay, so we're going to keep this in mind, and I'm now going to go ahead and go and start changing the code to initialize the Kinter's objects be, I'm sorry, widgets be initialized somewhere in different places. So in here, so in the actual app itself, this is where we're going to go ahead and pass the top level widget, okay? Again, this is just to quickly show you, this is the top level widget of take here, which represents most of the window. And so now, once we do that, assuming that we can actually pass on, oops, and then essentially passing on all of the attributes from the parent class being TK. Now, with this, if we were to pass to view, then view would technically be receiving the TK, which is the top level widget. And then I'm assuming that within this, we can go ahead and do, let me go ahead and take this out and comment this one out. Yeah, so in here, we're passing the app object, the TK as the parent class. So in other words, we're just essentially just doing inheritance, and using inheritance, we're also calling all. We're basically going to be attaching, in addition to these attributes to the app object, we're also going to be attaching TK's all of its attributes from its inits. A little thing that I'm unsure about is is it going to be like this? And then that itself, okay. Yeah, my knowledge thing is fairly spotty, so do bear with me. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I have done like in one way, but the moment I take out a certain piece, it's like I don't even know it. So that's what I'm just trying to. That's what the. That's what I'm trying to um solidify as I do this. So anywho, in the view, we're going to go ahead and pass self. Now let's go to view and let's quickly just fold these guys up. And in here, instead of, um, since the root, since TK is already being passed, what is my little setting? Excuse me, guys. Sorry, my little fellow was just trying to be a little curious earlier there. Let's keep on onto the window railing. Anyhow, here we are. So we're passing the top level function in which case, since self root we just removed, we're gonna go ahead and remove all of these and see how that impacts it. Okay, so in this case, the top level is gonna occur here. Top level widget is gonna get passed into view, in which it's gonna then carry the label, the entry, and the button. And then I'm wondering if this is where if I go ahead and do name equals main, then let's do app of which main loop, right? Because we're going to be passing in the TK. So now I'm going to see what I would need to change. Let me go ahead and delete those lines instead. And okay, so it says that self view takes one positional argument, but that if we received two were given. Two were given. Right, because then we're passing the TK in as well as that. Then that makes no sense. It takes one positional argument, but then two were given. I'm gonna quickly take a look at the previous code that I had built. It's in separate files. And in here, instead, we actually pass the difference between, just going to show you side by side, the view file that I created separately for a previous iteration of the same thing. In this app also receives the TK in this side of the program, this iteration of the program. And then in here in view, we're going to go ahead and pass the parent, we're going to pass in a parent class, which is going to be the frame. And within this, we, just a little confused as to what is happening. Okay, so I'm just wondering if because earlier I was correlating, like I was kind of joining these like frames as well as this, but technically I should be able to do parent, which should be the TK, and here I can just do super, super dot init, technically it should just be parent. I could just rename it to TK, I guess, in a way. And here it's saying, see, I don't get this. I didn't understand this part of the code at all clearly. So it takes one argument, the instance to initialize. Attribute TK. Okay. Exactly one, take exactly one. But since we're not passing anything to it, having a little bit of, so next page. So I guess I was wrong that earlier without the frame parent class, this was not related to the TK that comes in. Instead, we're going to open the check class and here. Okay, Now super init. Okay. Mm-hmm. This case, I don't know what's going on in here. App itself is receiving a parent class. It's inheriting the parent class TK, in which we are, of course, calling its super. We're going to be referring to its initialized constructor by calling super. Now, then, just to make it less confusing for myself at the moment, then view. And in view, we're going to call in parent none. Okay, super init. Okay, grid. Okay. So let's see. Self. But okay. And then we call self, and within the here we also call the parents constructor to be able to carry on all those attributes. Then we do something going right. However, I'm just having a little bit of frame. Within here we are calling in this parent is actually calling um, um, net per dot